Okay, so sometime in that 5-day period, it was agreed that Jennifer needed to go from the hospital to a mental health facility.
Correct. And we were in agreement that she needed inpatient acute psychiatric care. We were 100% in agreement that that needed to happen. Where things really started to fall apart was we were told that there were 6 facilities in the state of Montana and that they had put her name out to these 6 facilities and we were waiting on a bed. Todd and I expressed that we would prefer Billings, Montana, because that's where we went often for some other medical issues, and that would be convenient. However, we understood it could be anywhere in Montana, and we were fine. We knew she needed to do that. Then they kind of slipped Wyoming in sort of nonchalantly, like, well, there's this facility in Wyoming. And at that point, because we were being so disrespected as our parents, we immediately looked up Wyoming on our phones, and we're not lawyers or anything, but it looked to us like the same laws that Montana had in place that Wyoming did not have in place. And that was very alarming to us.
Yes.
Because Montana has a ban on the cross-gender procedures for minors and Wyoming doesn't. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, so Idaho, North and South Dakota, and Montana all had the same stance. The only one that was different was Wyoming, where it had just been shot down. So Casper, Wyoming is where that facility's at. And so and we could just tell that even when they would say she's next up for a bed in Billings, we could tell by their gestures to our daughter that they were saying, no, we're going to send you to Wyoming, don't worry. So that's what the gestures said. And so we discussed that, and we said, no, they're going to try to send her to Wyoming.
What were you worried about?
Telling us something different. Yeah.
What did you worry would happen to her in Wyoming?
Well, we were concerned that we didn't understand that when somebody is in CPS's care, that they cannot take supposedly they cannot have any treatments or anything unless the parents agree to it. So we were concerned that she could go to Wyoming and get puberty blockers or anything else that she had wanted to do this transition. And we were not okay with that at all.
Mm-hmm. And a reminder to those listening, once a child goes on puberty blockers, 98% of them go directly to cross-sex hormones. Once you've done that, the overwhelming statistics prove not only will you wind up sterile, but you'll never have sexual enjoyment in your life. This is what we're talking about. This is what was in the balance in that moment, at a bare minimum, separate and apart from surgeries. So you were right to be very concerned about what would happen to her if somebody other than the two of you were making the decisions. So you say, we don't want her to go to Wyoming. I assume you said, we'll wait for a bed in Montana.
That's correct. And our CPS worker said to us, and she kind of blew us off. She said, well, with all the facilities in Montana, we're pretty sure that a bed will come up in Montana, and Wyoming isn't an issue. But if we have to cross that bridge, we'll cross it together and we'll answer. She made it sound like they would answer all of our questions and that we make sure our daughter was protected.
Okay. But what in fact happened?
So what happened was on the day of August 22nd, we were told she was next in line for a bed in Billings, Montana. That night, Todd and I, we went to dinner and we were home. It was about 7:30 and the hospital called us and said that a bed had opened up in Wyoming and that she needed to go. And we were really confused and blown away. And we were like, wait a minute, we don't know what to do. Who can answer our questions? What are our rights here? And the doctor said to us, well, she has to leave this facility because we're not doing her any good here. She has to go to Wyoming. So within 10 minutes of that call, the children's services worker and the police showed up at our door serving us with papers to remove her from our care, saying that we were unable or unwilling to provide her medical care. And that's just not true at all.
Yeah.
Wow. So that was the moment that they seized her really from you and said, this kid is going to Wyoming whether you like it or not.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, and you two are sitting in your home that night. In what state? I mean, feeling how?
Shocked, helpless, crushed. This is our daughter.
Yeah, it was
I can't imagine.
It was total shock.
I can't, and I would imagine you feel angry. I would feel so angry at what was being done to my family. So now what do you do? I mean, you're not, I assume, a very wealthy couple with a bunch of connections to high power law firms. So, what do you do? How do you even go about fighting this?
So we were assigned public defenders, and I don't know if every state is like this, but in Montana, I have a public defender. Todd has one. CPS has a lawyer appointed to them, and so does the child. So it's kind of like everybody has an attorney in Montana. And again, I don't know if it's like that everywhere. So at that point, we were assigned public defenders, and everything just kind of kicked off from there.
How long did Jennifer stay in the Wyoming facility?
About a month. She came back to Montana on, I believe it was Monday, September 25th.
Were you allowed to talk to her during that month?
When she was in the Wyoming facility, the calls were monitored by her counselor at the time. And we were expressing concerns because they were at that time socially transitioning her. They were letting her go as male names, giving her male products, things that we were not okay with.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were reporting that she was having hallucinations there, things of that nature back at us, but there really wasn't communication back. They gave us incorrect phone numbers for the location. So there's a lot of issues with that where we were given inaccurate information.
Were you allowed to visit? Did you ever go there?
No.
We would have visited, but we were under the impression that we were not allowed to visit at that point.
So when you called her at the facility, did you have to say Leo?
Correct. They wanted us to refer to her by Leo, and then she would get on. And I know that the call was monitored by a counselor or the staff on duty, whoever was there.
Okay, so when she's coming out of the facility after 30 days, is it understood by everyone she's coming home to you two in Montana?
No, CPS then informed us that she had to go to a group home setting, in that she would be in Montana, though.
Yes.
Okay, but not with you. And what happened in that group home?
In the group home, she's been socially transitioned 100%.
Yeah, completely.
She's in a therapeutic school setting, and she is in the all boys groups in the school setting. She's allowed to wear a chest binder. She's allowed to only wear men's clothes, men's shoes. She got a haircut where she actually shaved her head and, presents herself as a boy. She also has a chest binder. Everything that we've 100% asked them not to do is being done.
Are your public defenders objecting to this?
They're very nice people, and I don't want to throw them under the bus, but what they have said to us is really to play nice, get her through the 6 to 9 month program, and then have her back under our roof and go on with our lives.
That's not going to work. She's going to be transitioned by then. I mean, they don't get less dug in.
Right. And that's the thing. She is transitioned now. She lives as a boy. And how could she come back to her? They've destroyed our family unit.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So they say the plan is for Jennifer to go to this facility for 6 to 9 months, and that she goes and she's Leo. It's totally affirmed. She's a boy. The girl, Jennifer, is basically gone. Now there's a Leo. Now you don't have your daughter anymore. Your family's been blown up. And is that how long did she stay there? Is she there right now?
Yes.
She's still there, yes.
And she's in an all boys group there.
An all boys group.
In the school setting. The group home is co-ed, so there's girls and boys that live in the group home.
Okay. And has there been an order that when she gets out of the group home, she's going up to Canada?
Correct.
Yes.
So on January 19th was our one of our final hearings that we had. And at that time, the attorney for Children Protective Services asked if they could release the child to the birth mother and then release the case so that Children's Services wouldn't be involved. So the judge asked some questions and our lawyer asked some questions like, has anyone seen the birth mother's home to make sure it's an appropriate house? Have there been safety checks done? Has anyone investigated the birth mom? And the answer was, well, not really, but we did ask for a background check in the Providence where she lives in Canada. But that doesn't cover all of Canada. So she could have been in trouble anywhere in Canada and it wouldn't come up. And so that was part of our concern. We also have some concerns about just the way that her household is handled is different than ours.
If you're an American over 50, you've weathered challenging times. You've witnessed moments of greatness. And now you may be feeling like you're watching it all fall apart. One organization that's looking out for you is the Association of Mature American Citizens, or AMAC. Have you heard of them? AMAC is basically a non-woke alternative to the AARP, and it's America's leading conservative senior advocacy and benefits organization. They have more than 2 million members, and AMAC listens to their members and voices their members' concerns in Washington. They offer guidance, support, and they address the issues that matter most to you. You can join AMAC today with memberships starting as low as $12 a year. Americans are recognizing that where they spend their dollar matters. Support an organization that supports you. Take action. Visit AMAC, that's AMAC.us/Megyn to choose the right plan for you. AMAC is more than just talk. AMAC gets things done. Visit AMAC.us/MEGYN. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.